Hey, let's talk. Not about how good things are, not about how your life looks on paper, not about the job, the friends, the relationship, or the goals you've ticked off. Let's talk about that weird, quiet emptiness, that feeling in your chest that shows up for no obvious reason, the one that whispers, something's off, even when everything's supposedly on. You know what I'm talking about. You smile, you laugh, you do what's expected, but deep down, there's a gap, a disconnect. You lie in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, thinking, why do I feel like this? And the worst part, you feel guilty for even feeling this way, because on the outside, life's fine. Let me hit you with the truth. Feeling empty doesn't mean you're broken. It means something deeper inside you is trying to get your attention. So let's break this down. No cliches, no therapy speak, just real talk between us. Here are 13 reasons why you might feel empty, even when everything looks fine. 1. You're distracted, not fulfilled. You fill your schedule, your phone, your evenings, with everything but yourself. Scrolling, binging, texting, gaming, working. You're always stimulated but never satisfied. Distraction isn't the same as nourishment. You can be busy 24/7 and still feel completely hollow inside. Because your soul doesn't want noise, it wants meaning. 2. You're living someone else's life. Let's be honest, are you chasing your dream, or the one someone handed to you? Maybe it was your parents' expectations, maybe it was society's checklist, college, job, house, relationship, repeat. Maybe you're just doing what you should be doing, but the truth? You've never stopped to ask what you actually want. No wonder you feel numb. You're walking a path that doesn't even belong to you. 3. You've forgotten how to be alone. Alone time doesn't mean scrolling in silence. It means sitting with your own thoughts and listening. Most people run from this, because being alone with yourself means facing the things you've buried. But guess what? You'll never feel whole if you don't even know who you are without the noise. 4. You're emotionally constipated. Yeah, I said it. You've been bottling everything. The anger, the sadness, the disappointment, the grief, the frustration. You say you're fine so often, you've actually started to believe it. But feelings don't just disappear. They sit, they grow, they fester, and eventually they turn into that emptiness you can't explain. You've got to feel to heal. Simple as that. 5. You've outgrown your environment. You're not the same person you were last year, but maybe your habits are. Your friends are. Your surroundings are. That can feel like wearing clothes 2 sizes too small. You look fine, but you're suffocating. Growth requires space, and if you're not giving yourself room to evolve, you'll start to shrink inside. 6. You're always on. You perform, you please, you show up, you play the role, but underneath it all, you're tired. There's a difference between being a reliable person and being a people-pleasing robot. When you constantly suppress your needs to keep the peace, emptiness is the cost. Being liked isn't worth being disconnected from yourself. 7. You haven't slowed down to process. You just keep moving, new day, new task, new week, new year. But when was the last time you actually processed the things you've been through? The heartbreaks, the betrayals, the failures, the transitions. You're carrying emotional baggage that you've never unpacked, and it's weighing on your spirit. You don't need a new hobby. You need to pause, reflect, breathe. Grieve, maybe. 8. You're stuck in surface-level living small talk, surface goals, shallow connections. You're surviving off crumbs when your soul wants a feast. We're not designed for purely transactional relationships or lives full of stuff, but no substance. The soul craves depth, deep connections, deep thoughts, deep truth. That's why cheap highs feel emptier every time. 9. You've lost your curiosity. Remember when life used to excite you? When you used to explore, question, learn, create? Now it's all routine. Same routes, same food, same thoughts, same day. On loop. Emptiness creeps in when you stop wondering, what else is out there? You don't need a new life. You need new questions, new risks, new adventures. 10. You're not expressing yourself. You're holding back your truth. Maybe it's your voice. Maybe it's your creativity. Maybe it's your opinions, your style, your desires. Self-expression isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. When you silence yourself for too long, your inner world starts to feel like a prison. That emptiness, that's the sound of your truth begging to be let out. 11. You're not being seen. You can be surrounded by people and still feel invisible, because what you really want is to be seen, heard, understood. If your connections feel one-sided, transactional, or fake, it's not your imagination. You don't need 1,000 followers. You need real intimacy, the kind that says, I see you, I get you, I'm here. That's what fills a heart, not likes, not attention, connection. 12. You're ignoring your soul's call. You feel empty because deep down you know there's something more. There's a pull, maybe to create something, help someone, change directions, start over, speak up, go somewhere new. But instead of listening, you quiet it with distractions. You scroll past your purpose. But here's the truth, your soul will not stop knocking. That ache, that emptiness, that's your invitation. 13. You think you shouldn't feel this way. Maybe the most dangerous lie of all, I have no right to feel empty. Because you have a job, a roof, a partner, a life that looks good. So you invalidate your pain. You gaslight yourself, you minimize your feelings, but listen, you are allowed to feel what you feel. You don't need permission to be human. This isn't about gratitude versus sadness. You can be grateful and still want more. You can appreciate what you have and still feel like something's missing. That's not weakness. That's awareness. 14. You're surrounded but not supported. Let's get real. Just because you have people around you doesn't mean they're your people. You might have a group chat, co-workers, or even a partner. But do they really get you? Do they challenge you, uplift you, see your potential and push you toward it? Or are they just there? Convenient, comfortable, safe. Sometimes the emptiness comes from giving your energy to people who wouldn't notice if you stopped showing up. You don't need more people. You need the right people. 15. You're not proud of who you are becoming. This one stings a little. Sometimes the emptiness comes from looking in the mirror and not recognizing yourself. You've drifted. You've compromised your standards. You've stopped showing up with discipline. You've lost your fire. You've made choices that deep down you're not proud of. And that disconnection, it lingers. But here's the good news. This isn't the end of your story. You can rewrite, rebuild, reclaim your standards. You're just one hard decision away from momentum. 16. You've forgotten what it feels like to be alive. This isn't poetic, it's the truth. You wake up, go through the motions, get through the day. But when was the last time you felt something real? Not just happiness, not just comfort. I'm talking about that alive feeling, the spark, the pulse, the raw thrill of being present. When you do things that scare you, when you chase what excites you, when you cry from something real, when you laugh so hard it hurts, when time disappears because you're in it. That's what your soul misses. You don't need more stuff, you need more life. So, now what? What do you do with all this? You listen, you stop running, you get quiet, you let the discomfort speak, and then you respond. Not with panic, not with shame, but with curiosity. Ask yourself, what do I miss doing? What am I avoiding? Who makes me feel alive? What have I outgrown? Where do I feel fake? What am I not saying? Because emptiness isn't the enemy, it's a compass. It's your inner world waving a red flag saying, hey, come back. We've got some things to figure out. Final truth? You're not broken. You're just disconnected from yourself, from your truth, your joy, your fire. But the good news, you can reconnect, piece by piece, step by step. Not by changing everything overnight, but by getting brutally honest with yourself. No more performing, no more fine, no more ignoring the ache and hoping it goes away. You don't need to be fixed, you need to be found, by yourself. So turn inward, that's where the fullness lives. You're not alone in this. You never were. But it's time to stop drifting and start living. The life you're craving? It begins with coming home to yourself. Let's start there.